Alright guys, welcome to Psych Explained. In this video, we're going to focus on the amygdala. Now from the introduction, you already probably got a good sense of at least one of its major functions, which is detecting a threat in the environment. Now I can't say this about all the parts of the brain, but you can actually have some pretty good discussions and debates amongst your peers about the amygdala. Like what actually constitutes a threat, right? How does your brain know what it should be afraid of, right? What poses danger to us and what it can overlook? Or when it comes to spiders, as you saw on my shoulder, is this something that our brain is wired to fear, right, for millions of years along with snakes and fear of heights? Or is it a learned condition response? So we'll touch on a few of these discussions and debates in this video, but that's something you can think about at home. Now in this video, we're going to focus on really two big things. One is the four functions of the amygdala, and we'll also touch on some animal research, like how do we actually know about the function of the amygdala and what it does? So we'll touch on that as well. The first thing I want to do, though, is start with this general structure right here. Let's just make sure we know what we're looking at, and this will help us develop some background knowledge. Now, I've actually highlighted the amygdala already. Okay, you'll notice it's this tiny circle structure right here. It's actually in the shape of an almond, which is why they call it the amygdala. And let's write that in right here. Amygdala. And the amygdala is located deep within our temporal lobes. All right, so let's do a little review of our lobes. We have our frontal lobe. We can remember that because it's in the front of our head. We have our temporal lobes on the sides, and we remember that because it's close to our temples. We have our parietal lobe, which sits on top of our head, and our occipital lobe, which is in the back of the head. Okay, so that's a nice way to think about it. Now remember, I said lobes plural, which should tell you that we have two amygdala, all right, one on each side. So we have two amygdalas, we have two hippocampus, we have two thalamus. That's always important to know because we always see structures like this that looks like, just this one cross section. But remember, we have two hemispheres, which means we have two of each structure. Now, another way to think about the amygdala is that it's a part of structures in an area called the limbic system. So a lot of these structures here are part of what we call the limbic system. Okay, now what is the limbic system and why are they all part of the same system? Well, the limbic system usually involves two things, emotions and memories, okay? So all these structures here typically deal with something, whether it's emotions or memories. So we have the thalamus, we have the amygdala, we have the hippocampus right here, we have the hypothalamus. So with the hypothalamus, that's also the endocrine system, so it controls more automatic things. But if you ever read something in a psych textbook and it talks about the emotional center of our brain, 10 out of